Bristol 2-meter net, calling the Bristol 2-meter net. This is N4NT. My name is Adam, and I'll be net control station for this session. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? The Bristol 2-meter net meets each Tuesday night at 9 p.m. on the 146.67 repeater. This net is affiliated with the Amateur Radio Emergency Service, the National Traffic System, and the Bristol Amateur Radio Club. All amateurs are welcome to check into the net. Are there any announcements or bulletins for the net? Okay, I have a quick announcement. If you are on our regular emailing list for the club newsletter, please check your email, and we're trying to make sure the list is cleaned up and has folks on it that are receiving the emails and want to receive the emails. So we have established a club email address that'll be included in that email. If you'll just reply to that email address, and we'll make sure you get on the updated list. All right, is there any formal or informal traffic for the net? Okay, we'll now begin taking check-ins from any mobiles or portables. Mobiles or portables, please call now.
KD4SQ, Dale, thank you.
KO4TOM, Tom in Bristol.
Okay, we picked up KT4SQ, Dale, and KO4TOM, Tom, on the mobile portable check-in. So we'll go ahead and go back to these for some comments. We'll start with KT4SQ. Good evening, Dale.
Good evening. I kind of had a little bit of surprise today on 15 meters. My noise level was S8, but I got a report that I was heard down in Australia. So even though the band is dead, there's still a little bit of openings north-south. So anyhow, thank you for allowing me in. This is KT4SQ.
Okay, Dale, thanks for checking in. And yeah, I worked some 15-meter digital just before the net a little while ago, and made some good contacts. I can't remember exactly how far away I heard or got out, but I had a pretty good day today. I worked 6 meters for quite a while, and picked up a few states and a couple DX contacts, and same thing on 10 meters. So yeah, it's been kind of a decent day on the bands today, comparatively anyway. All right, up next we have KO4TOM, Tom. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening. Not much going on my end. This is the first time I've been on this net. Still working off of my basic little HT, and I'm planning on moving up to a mobile to put in my pickup at some time, but I'm still trying to figure out what route I want to go with that.
Okay, well, good deal. I understand that. The HT is doing a real good job, though, and I'm sure there's plenty of experience amongst the club members and net participants that anything you're looking at, there's bound to be somebody that's had some experience with it, but I'd be glad to help you out any way we can. All right, that takes care of the mobiles and portables, so we'll go ahead and open it up now for any stations that would like to check in. Please call.
Net control, please check in. KL1ZA, Kilo Lima 1 Zulu Alpha, Jim Bristol.
BD4JJ, Jim in Bristol.
A4HQ, Ken and Gray. KD4 WMX, Ken and Quiet Lodi.
Control, please check in. KD4 CCO, Dallas, Bristol.
KF4 FHY, Kevin, Bristol, in and out, please.
All right, what a crew. Let's see. First we had KL1ZA, Jim in Bristol, WD4JJ, Jim in Bristol, followed by a pair of Kens, K4HQ and KD4WMX, and then Dallas, KD4CCO, and we had in and out, KF4 FHY, Kevin. Thanks for joining us tonight, Kevin. All right, let's run through a few of these. We'll start with KL1ZA. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, Adam, and the rest of the net. This is Kilo Lima 1 Zulu Alpha. Doing okay, but I'm not driving a car with a mobile in it right now. I took the Aveo off the road for a little bit, and took the mobile out. I just didn't want anything to happen to it when it's sitting for a month or two. I'm driving the other car, and it gets better mileage and it was a lot nicer, so I decided to take that mobile out of that car and just park it for now. But everything's going pretty well, and 7-3 to everyone. KL1ZA.
All right, Jim, thanks for checking in. Good to have you there tonight. And we'll go to the next Jim, WD4JJ. Good evening.
Good evening, Adam. 4NT, WD4JJ. Well, not too much going on here. I guess I'm going to say I have to wait for some more winter, the way they're talking. So, oh well. I don't know, boy, this weather's something else. But anyhow, I guess everybody's pretty well recovered from the storm, as far as I know. Trying to stay in and keep away from the bugs. That's about the story here. And that's about all I've got tonight. Just good night to everybody and take care and be safe. WD4JJ.
All right, Jim, thanks for checking in, and good to have you in there tonight. And up next we have Ken number 1 here, K4HQ. Good evening, Ken.
Good evening, Adam, and 4NT, K4HQ. Suggestion for Tom, if you want to go with a System Fusion radio, one of the Yaesus, they got a good deal on the FT3200. They're going for around $144. That's brand new at R&L up in Ohio. That's just one of something food for thought anyway. Or you can go with a dual band radio, whichever route you want to go. I got a couple radios I might be wanting to part with pretty soon. A 2-meter radio. It's not digital though. It's only analog, and a multi-band HT. So I can gather up enough money so I can buy me a new Yaesu. Anyway, back to you, Adam. And I will not be around for the digital net, unfortunately. I gotta get some sleep so I can get up at 4 a.m. Go to work. N4NT. And I hope that message I sent you was helpful. K4HQ.
Yeah, Ken, and it certainly was. I've got my eye on, there was one I was looking at, just kind of based on the prices anyway, I considered it a starter, but at the same time it looked like it had some pretty good quality to it. Had like a chrome base and everything, so that's kind of what I got my eye on right now, and it's about the $150 range, so it's probably, when considering there's Kiers about $300 out there, this one's probably still up in quality, just in the middle of the road. So I appreciate it. I'll speak with you more about it later on. All right, up next we have the next Ken number 2 tonight anyway, KD4WMX. Good evening, Ken.
Well, good evening, Mr. Adam. Appreciate you picking up the net. This is number 2 KD4WMX, Ken, in quiet Lodi. And it is quiet, but it's cold. I'm looking forward to warm weather. Also looking forward to this virus to move on, but that's going to take a while. But not much to report here, except it is quiet. And just want to say 73 to everybody, and stay safe, and of course keep your distance and stay inside as much as you can, and away from people. And with that, I'll turn it back to net control. N4NT, this is KD4 WMX clear.
All right, Ken, thanks for checking in, and good to hear you. And I meant to comment on the what the other Ken said there about getting up at 4 a.m. I'm kind of sympathetic to that. I get up about an hour later, so I'll probably be asleep during the digital net too, but I will be the net controller, so figure that out. All right, up next we have KD4CCO. Good evening, Dallas.
Good evening, Adam, and everybody on the net. It's going to be a cool night tonight. It's already down to 42 degrees here, so I think there's even chances of snow. I don't think we're going to see any of it, or maybe a dusting at the very most. But anyway, I was looking at the QST came in the mail today, and I see where Yesu's got a new radio out. It's a FTM 300DR. It's a analog, digital, dual band. It does just about everything that the 400 does, plus a few more things. But it's expensive. The best price I've seen on it so far is $470. So that's a lot of moolah to put out for a dual band radio, even if it is digital. So anyway, we'll turn it back to net control. Look forward to the digital net tonight. This is KD4CCO.
Okay, Dallas, thanks for checking in. And yeah, I've been looking at that radio, not to necessarily purchase one, because I'm radio poor at the moment, and well satisfied with my FTM 400s, but I still like to keep up on the new stuff coming down the line, watch the price fluctuate and all that kind of stuff. But two of the biggest things I noticed was that for me personally, that if had I not already bought one of my 400s, is the fact that you can run digital on the A and B side of that radio, whereas you can't with the 400, and the Bluetooth is included already. It's not a add-on. I'm sure there's a lot of other features, but that's the two things that jumped out to me the most, because I've got Bluetooth on this FT3, and I've connected a headset to it before and really enjoyed that. All right, that brings us to the bottom of the list. Are there any other stations that would like to check in?
KN4 WCL, that's Kilo November 4, Whiskey Charlie Lima, in and out. Kilo 4, Hotel Papa Yankee.
Okay, picked up a couple that time. KN4 WCL, Bill. I believe, Bill, that's the best I've heard you. That new radio's must be working out real good for you. Got you in and out, and thanks for checking in tonight. And K4HPY, Robert and Kingsport, got you in. So we're since we're down in the twilight here, we'll just go ahead and go back to you for comments. Robert, I noticed on Facebook you were taking advantage of some of those band openings on FT8. How'd you do?
Did real good there, Adam. I probably made about 50 contacts today on 20 and 10 and 17.
Okay, and I said FT8 out of habit. I noticed you said you'd been on FT4. I didn't. I was on there a little bit, but didn't cross paths with you today, though.
Yeah, I was band hopping there, trying to go to some bands I haven't been to. 10 opened up there for a little bit, and I was there, and then 17 opened up, and I did some FT4 there. Then I went to USB and made a few contacts on 17 too. So I was trying to make a contact with New Zealand. I can hear him in there on 17, but I wasn't wasn't reaching him. There was people that was overpowering me. Other than that, that's about all I've been doing today is playing radio. Back to you, K4HBY.
Okay, Robert, thanks for checking in. Yeah, I spent most of my day doing the same thing, kind of, and of course FT8 and FT4 is real convenient because I can have the kiddos in here and play with them and not have to worry about the background noise. But yeah, sounds good. I definitely racked up a few new states on some bands that I didn't have them before in a few countries. But yeah, that New Zealand thing, must just be this area because I was running my amp and still couldn't get them either. So maybe that pathway was a one-way street. All right, let's see if we have any more. Is there any other stations that would like to check in? Okay, just a quick reminder for those that have fusion capability, we'll have the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion Net at 9:30 on this frequency, or in the also the 443 repeater accessible, and the Wires X Room 61243. And if you don't have a fusion radio and you'd like to check it out, just go to YouTube and type in Bristol Amateur Radio Club and stand by, and there'll be a live broadcast come up, just like with this net, and you'll be able to listen in. Are there any other stations before we close that would like to check in? Okay, does anyone have anything else for the net before we close?
This is KO4TOM. Thanks to the gentleman on the radio recommendations, I have been looking at the Yaesu FTM 100DR. That is probably what I'll go with. I just got to figure out how I'm going to mount everything in my Tacoma. So if anybody has a Tacoma and they've done any mobile work in it, I would appreciate any help with that. KO4TOM.
Okay, Tom, and I'll second that. I've got a FTM 100 that actually runs it's the, whatever you call it, radio for the Bristol Wires X Room, and it's a real good radio, and with those removable control heads and the microphone extension cords, that does make the mounting options a little easier in a lot of vehicles. All right, does anyone else have anything before we close? Okay, if all minds are clear, we had or I'll remind everybody again, if you were on our email list, go ahead and please check your email. Tom sent out a new email address we're going to try to start using it'll belong to the club, so that way whoever's at the helm will have the login info, and it can be passed from one president or club officer to the other, that kind of thing. All right, we had a total number of 11 check-ins this evening. Thanks to each of you for taking the time to check into the net. This is N4NT closing the Bristol 2-meter net at 9:18 p.m. and returning the W4UD repeater back to normal amateur use. 7-3 and good night.